NZ Police Code of Conduct helping us live our values every day so we earn the trust and confidence of everyone in New Zealand. As employees of New Zealand Police, we are individually and collectively responsible for how we conduct ourselves. New Zealand Police's reputation is everything. We are under scrutiny as an organization and as individuals all the time, and how we go about policing is as important as the outcomes we achieve. No matter how well we do as an organization, there is a requirement for us to continually strive to do better. As Commissioner, one of my priorities is for police to build on the high levels of trust and confidence New Zealanders have in us. The community rightly holds us to high standards of behaviour in both our work and our private lives. As employees of New Zealand Police, we must be mindful of our behaviour at all times. Whether we are working or not, we represent New Zealand Police. I recognize that no code can detail every behaviour expected of us. However, our Code of Conduct is a guiding document that sets out common standards of behaviour for all of us. Guides our judgment, choices and actions whatever role we have here at police. It guides me as the Commissioner, our leaders, and you. Our code asks us to consciously exhibit behaviour which is aligned to our values: professionalism, respect, integrity, commitment to Maori and the treaty, empathy, valuing diversity. I am proud of the role New Zealand Police plays for New Zealand. I am also proud to work with people who are committed to the high standards of conduct we expect from each other. I expect each of us to be a leader in how we conduct ourselves, so as an organization our reputation in the community is untarnished and the public's trust and confidence in us is enhanced. If you are at all uncertain of what is expected as an employee of police, you should speak to your manager for clarification. Human Resources will also answer any questions you have about the code. As representatives of New Zealand Police, how we behave is important. By choosing to work at this organization, we are choosing to honor the principles and intent of this code. We cannot underestimate the significance of living our values and role modeling our code in our mission to make New Zealand the safest country. Just like the communities we serve, we want our people to be safe, especially at work. Who does it apply to and when? Ka pia with Macron Pni I Kia Way, Hia Hoki? This code applies to anyone who is employed or engaged by New Zealand Police, regardless of the position or rank held. This includes employees who are permanent, temporary, or casual, contractors and consultants, volunteers, and any other groups or individuals we have advised this code applies to. This code also applies to what we do outside of working hours, where our actions may bring police into disrepute or may damage trust and confidence police as our employer has in us. How can we be sure our conduct complies with the code and policies? The code provides general guidance and minimum expectations of the behavior police expects from us. No code or policy can cover every situation, so we need to consider our values, apply our common sense and act with self-respect, and consider the reputation of police in our decision-making. Self-test: if in doubt, it may help to consider the self-test questions. Scrutiny: would your decision or behavior withstand scrutiny and be seen as appropriate by others? Ensure compliance: does your decision or behavior comply with the code and other police policy, general instructions, and procedural expectations? Lawful: is your decision or behavior lawful? Fair: is your decision or behavior fair and reasonable? Introduction. Kupu Wakataki. Our Code of Conduct 3. Police's vision is to have the trust and confidence of all by living our values. We pride ourselves in being one of the most trusted police services in the world. By being consistently honest and ethical, and applying self to our behavior and decision-making, we help bring our vision and values to life. Our reputation: Te Toeng Goa Pai. We act professionally, exercise good judgment and are accountable for our behavior. We must not do anything that may bring police into disrepute. We consider the impact of our behavior on police at all times, including online or in social media, and outside of work. We protect police reputation by speaking up about any inappropriate behavior we see and hear. By addressing inappropriate behavior either directly or through managers, we make police a safer and happier workplace. Our influence in conflicts of interest. A conflict of interest is a situation where our personal or professional interests may conflict with our position, obligations, or responsibilities as a police employee. Sometimes the appearance or perception of such a conflict of interest can be just as damaging as an actual conflict. We must not act in a way that uses our influence, role, or position to personal advantage or to the advantage of others we are associated with. This includes ensuring we access information through police systems for legitimate work purposes only. It also includes never entering into a sexual or intimate relationship with someone we have met in a professional capacity if an imbalance of power exists, or if that person is vulnerable. Instead, we raise potential conflicts of interest with our manager. By being open and honest as soon as we see a potential conflict of interest, we can be supported to ensure it doesn't become a problem. Our code of conduct. For we have high standards. Our safety or the work we do can be inherently risky. Regardless of our role, we all have responsibility for promoting and maintaining a safe working environment. This includes ensuring we are fit and not impaired, for example by alcohol or other drugs, to safely perform our roles. We keep ourselves, each other and the public safe, by appropriately managing and reporting any safety issues as soon as we are aware of them. Our information with Misconduct Criro. Given the nature of our organization and information systems, we have access to confidential, sensitive, and personal information. As police we are trusted by those we serve to be exemplary in our dealings with this information. We need to consistently practice good judgment and integrity when creating, accessing, modifying and using, securing, and disclosing all information. We always need to handle information appropriately, for legitimate work purposes and in line with the law, our policies, processes and systems. When we are unsure whether information is confidential or sensitive or how it should be handled, we seek advice from our manager. Our resources. With Misconduct we have an obligation to properly manage and use resources appropriately and in a way that ensures our working environment is safe. We take care of the equipment, tools, and resources provided to us, including making sure they are fit for use by others, and make sure we use them appropriately, safely, and for the designated purpose. This also includes police systems and technology. Our Code of Conduct 5. We protect people, our information, and our resources. With Misconduct Hitaya Ki Ite Tangata, Ia with Misconduct Criro, Ia with Misconduct. Our purpose is to ensure all people in New Zealand are safe and feel safe. This means we do not tolerate or accept behavior, by either the public or our colleagues that breaks laws or compromises safety. Our diversity. Tokanorau police is strengthened by diversity. Our differences equip us to be more effective in our approach to policing across a wide range of communities. We are committed to having a diverse workforce that is inclusive and respectful of each other's differences. This means we treat all people respectfully, with empathy and dignity. We do so whether they are members of the public, colleagues, victims, or offenders and regardless of the circumstances. Our acceptance of others. We ensure a healthy work environment that does not tolerate discrimination, harassment, bullying, victimization or any other unacceptable or offensive behavior. There is no place in police for racial or sexual harassment, or discrimination against anyone for any reason including gender, marital status, religious belief, ethical belief, color, race, ethnicity, nationality, disability, age, political opinion, employment status, family status, or sexual orientation. We are all responsible for ensuring this type of behavior does not occur. Our history. Criro Toku Iho. We wear or identify with the New Zealand coat of arms which recognises the special relationship with IWI. In line with our value of commitment to Mori and the treaty, we recognize and seek to understand our history and to be responsive to IWI, specifically as Tangata. Our Code of Conduct 6: we do right by others. When we choose to work at police, we choose to be responsible for consistently demonstrating our values, working in a manner consistent with this code, and seeking help when we are unsure. This is required of us all. What will happen if you breach the code? Ki te takahi ko ite rangi, ka ahashiko? If your behavior or decisions fall short of the required standards set out in this code, your employment agreement and police policies, we will talk with you and determine the circumstances and actions that have led to the situation. What happens next and any consequences will depend on these circumstances. Police has a disciplinary policy which outlines the process to be followed. If you are found to have breached our code of conduct, you may face disciplinary action which could include termination of your employment. Final outcomes will depend on the seriousness of the situation. Good employer principles and processes, and good faith will be applied in dealing with any breaches of the code. What is considered? In considering if a behavior or decision is a breach of this code and how serious it is, the factors that may be considered are the nature and circumstances. Intent: did you knowingly make decisions or act out of line with this code, our values and policies? Your position, duties and responsibilities: your ability to fulfill your duties and responsibilities. The impact on the organization and relationships: impact on the trust and confidence police has in you. How similar behavior has been treated in the past. Breach of code: our code of conduct 7: we are responsible. What does misconduct and serious misconduct look like? Serious misconduct: being convicted of or pleading guilty to an offense, corruption, accepting a bribe, inducement or reward, bullying or harassment, sexual misconduct, theft or dishonesty of any kind, unauthorized access to, or disclosure of any matter or information related to police business, including near repeated misconduct, including breach of a warning, knowingly making a false declaration or statement, including incorrectly recording data, excessive unjustified violence. Misconduct: breaching police policies or procedures, treating a person harshly, using abusive or offensive language, misuse of police internet or email systems, using any police databases for any unauthorized or personal purpose, being absent from work or late without proper reason, failure to declare a conflict of interest, misuse, mistreatment, or not taking reasonable care of police property, not complying with a lawful and reasonable instruction without a good and sufficient reason. Bringing police into disrepute through any actions or behavior. Our code of conduct 8 indicative examples: depending on the circumstances, misconduct may be considered serious misconduct, and vice versa. Misconduct and serious misconduct can apply to behavior that has occurred outside of work. The individual circumstances of each situation will determine how the misconduct is treated. These examples are intended as guidance only. They are not an exhaustive list of breaches of the Code of Conduct. Please use the self-test, page 3, to guide your decision-making, or if you need further clarity, talk to your manager or human resources before you take a course of action you think may fall outside the guidance outlined in this code. What is misconduct? This is behavior or actions that breach this Code of Conduct or other police policies. While not justify formal disciplinary action. What is serious misconduct? This is behavior or actions that breach this Code of Conduct or other police policies and employment agreements and seriously undermine or damage the trust and confidence police has in you, calling into question if the employment relationship can continue. It is behavior or actions that may justify dismissal. Support: if you want to talk through the Code of Conduct or any of our employment expectations, please contact your manager or leaders, members of the NZ Police Executive Team.